Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, now we do have a rainbow map in my hand. As you can see, a group of survivors did spawn together. I want to let you guys all know I am in a 3-man pre-made right away. Now, the map I'm currently using is referred to as a rainbow map, also known as a burrito. Now, you're going to notice I have two add-ons on there. The top add-on allows me to, whenever I generate an aura with the map, all my allies can see it. And the bottom add-on will also allow me to increase the range of the map. Now, the rainbow map by default has a 8-meter range on tracking. And knowing that it has an 8-meter range, I'm going to just dip because he made a bad play there. So when I'm running around, anything within 16 meters is getting tracked onto the map based on the fact that I'm running another perk called Open-Handed. I'm going to channel this and you're going to see a lot of stuff glow up. All my teammates are going to be able to see that for a short period of time. Now we know he has a totem perk and we actually just found a totem and we're going to be able to break it. Rainbow maps can be devastatingly good. The other perk that I have replacing Adrenaline this game is going to be Ace in the Hole. That's going to allow me to hold on to my add-ons at the end of the trial if I escape the trial alive. Also another phenomenal add-on that you can run, or something to preserve add-ons being a perk. Now, keeping in mind, I am lighting a bunch of stuff up, and whenever I light that up, that is going to give information towards my teammate. I'm going to do a little more to check the gen upstairs. Okay, the gen upstairs is in a bit of a sticky situation, but that is okay. So am I with Pyramid Head here. So we're going to be very careful against this guy, because he can get some crazy hits. I want him to think I'm going through something like that, and then sidestep him there. Now, keeping in mind, I'm going to take a hit in the back if I take the pallet, so we're going to try and take spacing. I got a little bit of clipping, getting stuck on these jungle gyms. Keep in mind, they are very small. Now, he can lunge across this if he knows how to play. I don't think you can shoot up a platform, though, my friend, so you're going to have to be very careful. Looks like he left. He's lost 2 totem perks. Give my team a little bit more information. I have a single-person gen to work up here, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. The effect you see on the screen right now, the barbed wire effect, that basically... Oh, so he's coming up for me again. All right, so I want him to drop off the balcony now and go for this play. He didn't do it, so I'm guessing he doesn't know he can. That's good for me, because now I can play around that. I'm gonna take the medium vault. He has a drop down, but I do too. I'm going to block his line of sight. We're going to come all the way around. He went out through the wrong door. Going to channel the map a tiny bit longer for my teammates, just to show them any bit of information. Remember, whenever I activate that map, all those auras will appear towards all of my teammates, regardless of how far away they are in the trial. It's going to allow them to track. If you notice, when I channeled at that time, there was one less totem there. Therefore, my team have gone around and broken them. He's lost 2 lit totems as well. Therefore, that means he's lost 2 perks as well, because it wasn't haunted ground. Meaning we have hindered this killer. I'm not going to say useless, but we've rendered a lot of the power from this killer, and now they're in a bit of trouble. He has been trying to go for a hit with his special ability, but it doesn't hit up on a platform like where I was right then, so he wouldn't have been able to connect it. Keeping in mind, Pyramid Head is only a 115% movement speed killer. The best way to play against him is block his line of sight. That way he has to be indecisive with activating his ability, and the best way to play Pyramid Head is when you pick up your sword and you slam it in the ground, that takes about 0.5 seconds for the animation. Don't do it the full way. You pick it up, and if the player drops a pallet, you slam it in the ground, then you hit him through it. If he doesn't, you pick it up, you bait it, and then you go right through and hit the survivor. Both can be done very easily with enough practice on Pyramid Head. They make him a much stronger killer if you can master that technique. However, you still do lack map pressure and momentum to get around the board like a killer for, say, as the Clown. That being said, well, I could get healed by my teammate if I deem necessary, and it looks like that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to 99 the gen and then go for the heal. However, I had a different plan. I got the generator done straight away. Now, there are 2 gens left. Realistically, I don't want to be healed if I'm going to be honest with you. I'd rather walk around injured based on the fact Adrenaline is right around the corner, and I haven't been hooked at all, and I still have access to Dead Hard. I have a lot of good things going for my character right now, and I'm in a really strong spot being injured as well, because I can Dead Hard his ability as well. Now that I'm full health, basically my teammate and I can divide and conquer. There is a safe platform gen up here to the left-hand side. I always recommend leaving for the end of the trial. With 2 gens left, I believe now would be a perfect time to work on that generator. You want to leave it up here because it is phenomenally survivor-sided. Therefore, as a killer, you kind of want to cut it out of your rotation nice and early. It's this one here. Now, there are multiple ways to run this loop as well. And basically, you see this one here, which folds in half. This is your indicator of when you want to drop down. You want to be on the opposite side of this, and whether you drop here, whether you drop through that hole, whether you drop through here, all depends on when the killer passes this point. When the killer gets past this and gets to the barrel, you drop down. Don't let him bait you and go the other way back around. You can just be patient. He can't get you up here. A Huntress can, a Deathslinger can, a Nurse can blink up here. There's not much else that can really hurt you up there. So against a killer like this guy, you don't have to worry about it. He can come here and hit through with his ability because it's the same level playing field. But when he does that, your play would be to drop down behind where the hook is and then play the side window vaults. If you miss position here and he's trying to hit you with that, you just drop in this direction and you play the side window back here. So there's always a lot of different options that you are able to do. Never panic in those kind of situations. Like I said, this is a phenomenal side of the map for survivors. It is very safe and you can play around that factor. Now, I have wasted a lot of time. Only one person is injured on my team. 2 people MIA. I'm going under the assumption the 2 MIA people are working on a gen. If they're stacking on a gen, it's going to be done in 47.5 seconds. If they're not stacking on a gen and they're working separate, it'll be an 80-second gen. Either way, their generator will be completed before my gen. I'm staying on this gen though for a couple of extra blood points. I do not think I will manage to complete this gen without the end of the trial activating. When the end of the trial does begin, I will activate my rainbow map to see how my teammates react. For all we know, this killer will have no ed. I have gone around the board, and remember, it's an 8-meter tracking aura around me in every direction, plus I have open-handed, therefore it is a 16-meter aura, plus I have an add-on called the odd stamp, so I have a 24-meter aura around me. Every killer belonging, everything the killer owns, every hatch, everything's going to appear when I activate the map. And I've ran right through the center of the board, so I've covered majority of the map right now, so I should have information pretty much everywhere. So I'll be surprised if he has no ed and it doesn't get broken. Keeping in mind, I said I wasn't going to be able to complete this gen in time. Notice how one of the players that was on full health is now injured. I'm going under the assumption these 2 guys were stacked on a gen, and the killer came over towards that generator and forced them off. That is how I can understand that the gens aren't completed yet. But I'm in a very safe spot. I'm applying split pressure, and you can see multiple adrenaline, and it's going to hurt my teammate. We're going to activate this now, and we're going to have a proper look for any kind of totem. I see no totems. I see hooks everywhere. The fact that I can see the hooks everywhere shows you just how far through the map I have gone. And based on that, and the generator stopped lighting up, so it's not going to be blocking my line of sight, based on these kind of things as well, we're going to be able to know that this killer does not have no-ed available, so we don't have to worry about that. What we do know is we are reunited and we have killer tracking. You need to keep running past. You're not injured. We're going to have to find the guy who is injured and see if we can assist him. Now, alternatively, you can take off Ace in the Hole if you want to take off Ace in the Hole, and you can run something like Adrenaline. You can run Bond as well and force the killer away and know when your teammates are completing certain generators. Now, we can already tell that running through that isn't going to affect me. To get rid of the barbed wire, I need to be hooked by the killer. And it sounds like he may be coming back in. No, we're okay. That is okay. So I have to be hooked by the killer. If the killer or caged by the killer. So if the killer is to down me and then down me again after he's hooked me, he can then mori me on my location. Sorry, I'll repeat that in a much more easier way to explain. So if the killer chooses to pick me up and hook me, I will still have this barbed wire effect around my screen. If he is to cage me, which is when he when he stabs a blade through me when I'm a slug, he can only do that when the barbed wire's on the screen. And if he does do that, that'll put me in a cage across the board away from the killer. I'm going to group, stack, heal, and then we're going to go in. I'm going to split straight away, see how he reacts. I expect him to run through there. He went straight back to the hook. I shouldn't greet and come in right now. The thing is, he wanted to apply pressure to 2 people, and now that he only sees 1, he's going to come back into it. You can hear that's getting really loud. He missed, so he's going to just do a 180. He's got double range add-ons too, if you're unaware. If he comes through that pallet, I'm going to stun him with it. This is going to be very hard for me to do. Dead hard through him. She didn't take the body block hit. She just ran right past him. Now, I give her borrowed time, so she would have been able to take a hit if she needed to. Now, she just took a free hit at the end. So that's really unfortunate. He was pretty close on the hook. That is my fault at the end of the day, because I could have played better for my teammate. My teammate is in a bit of a bad spot. He can also sever that hook, which is nice, and I'm going to start wiggling then. Surprised the killer doesn't decide to drop me, which is exactly what he did. And he's going to wait for the respawn. I'm going to recover, and then I'm going to start crawling up there. These guys just need to group, stack, heal. We're running out of time at the top of the screen. This may be one of the trials that I do die in. It isn't looking too good. That is going to be her healing in the locker. Hopefully she comes running straight back in. She needs to be ambitious here rather than being a little scared. That's okay. Got my other injured teammate. I think she's just going to run for the door. I'm going to start crawling towards them. The hook has respawned. The injured player is coming to get me like an absolute champion. Now, this is dangerous to run to this door because he's obviously going to be over here. What do I know? I know he's got double range add-ons. I know he's not chasing, so he saw my other teammate. That's going to be a hit into a dead hard. Very good play. Remember, that hit does go through multiple targets. Just to give you an understanding of the range, That just shows you how far it goes right through. So double range can be scary on Pyramid Head. Unfortunately, that I made a bad play there, but it still managed to work out in the end. If I didn't miss my first original skill check healing my teammate, would have been a much easier borrowed time save. However, I did try and greed for something. I dead-hearted through my teammate, hoping they'd be able to take the BT hit, but unfortunately they were unsuccessful with that because they ran to the left rather than standing stationary. Therefore, the killer just moved to his left and then walked right past. Anyways, guys, GG's well played. If you enjoy this educational, informative Survivor game, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do educational Dead by Daylight, killer, and Survivor content 5 days a week, and I'd love to see you guys pop into the live streams where I stream over at Twitch. That was a 3-man pre-made Swift, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.